Ain't this a pretty sight? And this is what's even better. Here is the campground. We're back at Custer Trails. There ain't a tent, RV, vehicle in sight. So I'm not going to argue with that. But now the surprise. It's because it's 35 degrees out. It's the end of November. It's the 2 days after Thanksgiving. And I've been having the itch to get the winter tent and the wood stove out for the last couple of weekends. And just kind of been tied up and busy and just wasn't able to make it work. Well, I had a 4-day weekend now. Had a 4-day weekend now. And Dana's family was out. We did Thursday and Friday together, and I decided that I just couldn't hold off anymore, so it's just me. I left Dana and Zoe at home. Her family's gonna stay one more day, and they're headed out Sunday, and I'm sure we'll be headed out Sunday too. I gotta work Monday and not quite used to the cold yet. We've had great temperatures around here. It was 60 degrees or more over Thanksgiving, so not going to complain about the weather, but I'm definitely not acclimated. But anyway, we just got here. I'm going to start getting things set up. The wind is blowing, so it's making the cold a little more. But we'll get the tent set up, get the stove in there, and then we'll go start gathering some wood. I am thoroughly impressed, though, that the lake, tiny little bit of ice right over here that you couldn't even throw a pebble on it without it breaking through, but not a stitch of ice out there. So they must have had good temps up here as well. But anyway, we're going to get the tent going. Get our shelter set up so that we're ready for tonight, because I'm sure it's going to get down into the 20s tonight with this elevation up here. It always seems to be that way, so we'll catch up with you in a bit here. Well, due to unforeseen circumstances, we have moved campsites. The original spot that I wanted to go, it is for RVs, and the ground is way too hard. I can't drive stakes in it. Bending my stakes over. So we came back up to the old tent area, which we've stayed a million times. It's a great little location. I just was kind of wanting to try something new, but not today. And I haven't used it without snow on the ground, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the snow skirts. But In a normal season for using this, get her all set up and then you pile snow on the outside there, and boy, it warms it up quick inside. It's pretty amazing how well that works. So we'll get the cap on here and start getting her finished setting it up, but I forgot to give you the look of the cap on. And then this is the stove outlet, the chimney outlet. And this tent could be used for season. They give you another flap here that if you're not using a stove, if it's summer or whatever, you just Velcro that to the outside and you're back to a normal tent. I suppose you could probably use it as a window too if you wanted, but this is a melt flame resistant material that they have put on there that works good. Like I said, I had the whole chimney last year glowing completely orange. I just didn't pay attention. The fire got out of hand inside and it never hurt anything. I wouldn't recommend wanting to do that all the time, but and this is the humble abode for tonight. But yeah, we'll get the stove in here and get things set up. Well, I never really felt like I gave you guys much of a overlook on this wood stove for this tent, so let's just take a quick run through on what it's all about. If I remember right, it is a Wild West brand, Wild West brand. And couldn't tell you what I paid for it, but they're cheap. But that's it as it looks. And like I say, we use these for like cooking areas, putting pots and pans and stuff that just needed to keep warm, and then actually cooking on stuff. So that all worked really good. You got your little door. Obviously we've got the louvers, or the flue, so you can adjust your intake. That's all the chimney pieces. That's what else is nice about this thing, is it all goes back together for storage. So it's super easy to pack it in, pack it around, store it at home. You don't got to worry about missing a piece or losing a piece. So, but that's all the bigger it is too. It is, and it's just a perfect size for that tent. But there's your dampener, which you think a small little wood stove like that, it's got a lot of the good features that you need to make them work efficiently. So opening these latches, and that top completely comes off for cleaning and for getting your chimney put together. And you can see just how dirty pine is. That's all we burned that night, and some of that has fallen out. When I got up the next morning, about every single one of these holes in this fire arrestor were completely plugged. So, but it hasn't been used in about a year, so everything's nice and dry. We'll clunk her off and we'll give her hell. Yeah, it don't look that bad. I doubt you can see down in there, but it don't look that bad now. So that's the top of the chimney, and then like I say, the rest of the pieces all fit in there, and they just slide together. There's nothing special about them. At least I can't remember if it goes a certain way or not, but for some reason I'm remembering though that it's too much. It's too much to, too tall to put them all on, so maybe I won't put it all together. But it's I think it's a 12-foot chimney. There's one section that I'm not putting on yet. We'll find out if we need it. If there's that, hold that up. And get some legs put on there. And another thing that's nice, they do have a little bit of adjustment to them, so you can get her leveled out if you need to. I haven't had to use that yet, but we might be using it in this tent because the ground is not level, but and I'll try to let you see what the heck this thing does, but it's real simple. And actually, I screwed up. We're just going to take the top back off. Make it easy for everybody. Seemed like there was another piece for that, but I don't remember now. There we go now. It's going to set somewhat just like so. I mean, it's just a wood stove. It don't have to be perfect. I suppose I could, if I was going to cook on it, well, I might boil some water on it tonight, so maybe I will play around with finding some flat rocks and we'll get her leveled up. But I'll go grab the chimney. We'll slide that in there. Now, I'm not sure what the situation is that warrants another section of chimney, but she is plenty tall. I'm not going to worry about that. We've got a shelter, we've got a stove. Now it's just doing the preparations, kind of doing the finishing touches on some of the tent and start getting some wood up here. So we're going to keep plugging away. We'll keep you guys updated. In honor of camping with Steve, we've got some step 2, so we'll be walking and sipping a little, and we'll see what the rest of the day brings. I did bring my 357 Magnum. Thought I might go out and see if I can find a little secret place to do a little shooting. Maybe we'll do that here shortly. And then I did bring my drone with, so we'll do a little bit of drone shots. And being that it's November, the time change, it's going to be dark here by 4:30 or so. So it leaves us a lot of time to be playing in the dark. But we'll see what happens. So we're going to go down and see what the lake looks like. Have a couple drinks, and I'm being a dummy. That's the other activity I brought, was my fishing pole. We're gonna go do some fishing, so let me run back to the pickup here. We'll grab that and then we'll head down there. Boy, I feel like if I could get out there another 50 feet, get into that deeper water a little bit more, I think we'd see some action already. Oh boy! Hey! That's good enough for me. Oh! He's off! Well, that makes it easy. Took my bait though, that's alright. I'm gonna use this stuff up anyway. It's one thing I feel like I struggle with is I never get my hook set just right. And actually I've never had the problem until I started really fishing for trout. I don't know what it is with trout, but they seem to really know how to spit a hook out. No trophy fish, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm not even here to eat them, to be honest with you. I'm a catch and release type of guy. Tell myself every summer that I want to come out here with just a fishing pole and just do fish fries every night, but I don't have that much confidence in my fishing game that I'm going to be able to catch anything, so I always bring a little bit of food, and to be honest, it's easier to cook up the food you brought than it is to sit out here and fish and hope for the best, and to clean them. I'm not real thrilled with cleaning fish either, but see if we can do that again. Alright guys, it's getting close to shutdown time, but drove up Flag Mountain Road for a little while, and I thought I knew where I was going, and I turned on Flag Mountain Lookout Road, and it dead-ended here. And I've been to Flag Mountain a time or two, and I remember you can pretty much drive right to the top, and then you get out and you walk up a hill a little ways, but this is where it turned out. So to compensate for that, we are going to do a little shooting real quick. This is a 357 Smith & Wesson Magnum that my dad has had for years. I remember growing up with it, and it's been a couple months ago. I always told him that I really would like to keep it and to have it, and for whatever reason he showed up at the house one day with it and said, "Here, it's all yours." So it is a very cool gun. I've always liked it. I don't know, it's just one of them fun guns, but I forget the model. I believe it's a Model 28 Higher Patrolman, and it says Higher Patrolman right on it. That's always some of the reason I thought it was so cool. But so we'll pop a few rounds off. It's a revolver, so 6 shells, and well, there I just knocked them all out for you so you can really see them. But it's a cool gun, but it's the first gun that I've ever shot that, well, every gun you shoot, obviously you should be wearing hearing protection, but I went out with it the first day I'd ever shot it before, and not really thinking. I just was in high school, and we took off outside out into the pasture and pulled up on some rabbits, and I thought, well, I'll see if I can shoot a rabbit. So I just jumped out of the pickup and I fired off about 3 rounds, and I don't think my hearing was the same for 3 days. My ears just rang. But anyway, we'll see what it does here. 1 out of 6 ain't bad, right? I haven't shot this gun enough to figure out just where the sights are. Plus it kicks so bad that I'm sure that's some of the reason why I can't hit anything, but alright peeps, we're home and we're gonna get a fire going, and I've already started out by putting a few pieces of kindling in there and some pine needles, and then I was tipped off on a good little tip of a fire starter. This is nothing new to anybody that's been out and about like I like to do. But it's Vaseline and cotton balls. And these things go up like gasoline. I mean, they're a great idea, whoever came up with that. So we're gonna get started with that, and then we'll start putting some bigger chunks in, and we'll get to boiling some water and get supper on the table. So stay tuned. We'll see what we can come up with. All right, and we got the old flint to do the work for us. I like to keep it a little bit old school. And look at that. That's all it takes. Like I say, them little cotton balls, they really know how to do their job. That wood I've got is pretty well dry, the kindling anyway. Some of this is pretty wet, that we'll see how it works out for us. One thing I found out though, you don't ever take it lightly. Whoops, look at that. See how quick I put that out? That's real nice. Shows my skills, right? That was quick. That was real quick. Oh well, give me another chance to demonstrate the old flint rod. Yeah, try that again. That was all my bad. I don't know if you can tell how quick that chimney takes over. These things work so good. These are the cat's ass if you're going to be out in the cold. Actually, I'm going to leave it at that for now. Well, we are boiling some water for some, stroganoff sauce, egg noodles, beef and mushrooms, Backpacker's Pantry. Kind of excited for that. That actually sounds really good. And then we're gonna have ourselves a cup of Kuju coffee, the old standard in our world. But I'm surprised, for it being about 5 o'clock, the coyotes are already howling, and that gives me high anticipation for maybe there's a chance I'll get to hear some elk bugling a little. I'm gonna go out a little later and walk up on top of the hill, get out and about. And it kind of opens up, and we'll call for some elk, see if we can't make somebody make some noise. But usually when you're here, the coyotes don't start howling until 10 or 11 o'clock at night, so I've already heard them talking a little. But we'll get some food boiled up here and kick back for a little while, wait for the darkness to set in, and then we'll maybe head out and see what we can come up with. Let's do a temperature check. .64 degrees. All right, food is done. Finished last of my coffee.
She was so annoying and so black. And earlier in the interview, she said, I would like to give you the next.
Let's do some beef stroganoff.
Holy shit, South Park face. Oh my God. I want to
Don't mind the background noise. I'm a little bit old school, and I'm obsessed with talk radio, and Opie and Anthony were one of my favorites, so.
So Tommy says, whatever I said is on the tape. Yeah. Why don't you be honest? Say it twice if it's
Oh boy, this stuff smells really good.
5 is 10. I'll say that 50 times and it'll come out the same.
It actually looks really good too. We've got her up to 70 degrees just about. Yep, 69 degrees right now, so it's pretty good temps for eating in.
Well, she's, a lot of you guys may have, but I don't think, judging by your voice, you're not.
I forgot, I like to nip this down a little bit. Maybe. Makes it a little less messy.
It's the worst argument. She's obviously so fucking wrong, and her argument is such garbage. It's almost like you can't back her.
There. Well, I won't make you watch me eat all night.
It's happening all over. They had one in New York City today in downtown Manhattan. Huge one there.
Hopefully I keep ambitious. The coffee should have helped me with that.
What is this about?
Go for a little evening stroll.
They pretty much won.
And then we'll for sure touch base with you before we go to bed. Alright guys, that's it. I am headed for bed. It's only 6 o'clock, but it's hit the low already, 28 degrees. And I'm just gonna sit here and tend to the fire and do some sleeping, so we will catch up with you in the morning on our pack up and our way out and see what the next adventure brings. Have a good night.